We're live.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I have Cindy as well as Susan here with me today.
We're busy right now because we're kind of hearing crickets at the moment. We're trying to keep the office busy, the crew's busy. I don't know if any.
Yeah, that wasn't me. Just to throw it out there, the brains behind Wholesale Fencing, his name is Adam Butts, and it's great. If and when you need to get your fence materials, we sell them nationwide, all different varieties, and that's the only plug I'll throw in there.
I think it's gonna dumb our generation up a little bit, though. I'm nervous that after a while, nobody's gonna be writing their own emails. They're just gonna be They're gonna be typing in, tell Susan, I think she smells funny.
Yeah. He asked me about it too. He said, "What's Susan's mom's name?" And I said, "Toby." And he was like, "She requested me." And I said, "Accept it. Duh, we love mom."
And we started doing meetings in the morning, and we have designated I don't know if you guys have how you do your teams. International BNIs.
BNI.
Yeah, they in every city. Yeah. Y con eso, hablando de eso, es qué difícil es cuando una persona entra a trabajar a un lugar que nada más hablan en inglés, ¿verdad?
I love the challenge. I love learning new stuff every day. And I feel like if I had to choose to do that on my own, I don't know that I would.
I like that.
I will tell you, my husband and I, we just got into the digital world this last, in 2023. We were still handwriting, all of our lead forms, all of our, fence layouts, everything.
I need my little halo on top of my head.
Does that mean I need to put on my horns?
What the fence show is all about, and I stuck around because I got a great group of amazing women.
You're talking about millions and millions of dollars in a contract is not something that is, I guess, typical in the fence world, right?
Makes me jealous. Now I want a horse, Brian.
Hey, y'all! We're live. Did you like that intro? That's brand new. First scene today. I don't even know if the rest of the team has seen it. So Brian hates me. Everybody's already live.
I noticed you muting me, so you must have heard us laughing at some of the sayings. They were great.
I think it's cute. I like when Heather and Veronica are over here talking about their halo and their horns. I'm like, and then of course Yadira asks Brian for a horse. I don't know if he's ever seen that.
He has now.
Okay, you guys. Today is Tuesday, January 14th of 2025. This is the Women of FWA live Q&A session. Michaela with the WTF. That was amazing. And I've got Kim and Jim here. We said it like that so it would rhyme. Y'all, introduce yourselves so people know who you are. It's your first time on the show.
Hey, everybody. I am Kimberly with Miss Boss and Camelot Digital Marketing.
I'm James, the worst half, formerly J&J, rebranded into Fence Boss.
And we're here to talk about mentorship.
Yeah. So I got Craig Eubanks. He said he loves the intro. Hello, everyone. Hey, Craig. So one of the things that somebody reached out to me recently was they're new into the industry. They're looking for mentorship. They want to soak up as much information as they can, but they also want somebody that they can rely on and talk to on a regular basis. I think we all need mentors. I think it's important. I firmly believe in having many, not just one, depending on what the subject and the topic is. And of course, they are definitely role models to me. But I pulled you guys on here because I know that y'all have a lot of experience with this as well. And so before the show started, we were discussing the difference between mentorship and kind of coaching and friendship, the three, and how they're extremely different. Kim, you want to jump in here?
Use the same thing.
Very much.
So what happens. People think their coaches are their best friends, or their best friends are their coaches, or that the mentorship has to come from within your industry. You can get mentorship from anybody if they've got something that can take you forward, and you should never limit yourself based off of your industry, because you should have multiple ones. You could have a coach, you could have a best friend and a mentor. There's nothing that stops you from any or all of them.
I completely agree with you. So when I think of a mentor, I would define that as somebody you go to discuss whatever your goal is in that specific topic, right? So I have a mentor as an association, somebody who I talk to get advice on how to maintain it, make sure I'm keeping books correctly, how to continue to grow the association itself. I call them up. Now, I ask their permission first. I'm like, hey, will you mentor me? You've been doing this for a lot longer. You know the industry better than me. Like, will you do this for me? And they're like, yes. So like, this is somebody I call and I say, hey, this is what I have going on. Like, what do you think about it? Now, I firmly believe you don't have to listen to your mentor.
Correct.
Sounding board.
I think that comes across the board. You don't have to take 100% of the advice you get, no matter who you're getting it from. You need to look at it and pick which parts best fit your situation or your goal.
Because they're best giving you their advice from their perspective of where you're coming from in that moment.
Right. And honestly, in this industry, there could be so many. Like, you could have a mentorship for fencing installation. You could have a mentorship of, hey, we're a husband and wife team. And who else is there that has to work with and live with 24/7 with no break and are not alcoholic drug addicts because of it? Like, you could have a mentor specifically for just how do you maintain a relationship with your partner? And you have a different mentor. I personally have 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, we have more than one company, but some of my mentors have nothing to do with either company.
Right.
It is the fact that, one, they are very successful. I look up to them. I respect what they do, and I don't take all of their advice, but there's times that in talking to them, the advice they give me leads me down the right path. It's not what they did that would work for me, but it helps light that fire of what would work.
Right. I completely agree with you.
Messy. And you have to understand, anything of a mentor, a coach, a best friend, if you take their advice and for some reason it doesn't work, it's not that's your fault. If you're going to put blame, it's not going to work. Right. You have to be understanding and know that they gave you their experience and what worked for them.
I agree.
It may have to be tweaked for yourself.
I agree completely 100% with that. So then that kind of brings me to then, what is the difference between a mentor and a coach, right? Because there are lots of business coaches out there. I think it's a wonderful thing to have somebody in your corner, but you're also paying for a service. So in my mind, like, you need to listen to everything they say.
There's a list of expectations that comes with the coach because you are paying them for their services. Mm-hmm. Whereas a mentor, you're not paying. So there can be expectations, but they're not going to be at the same level as a person you're paying. If you're paying somebody and they tell you they're available from this time to this time, and you call them and they're not, or they're not doing the things they stated they would, well, then you might have a reason to be upset because you're paying them to do that. Now, again, you have to understand that they do have other clients. You cannot just think you're their only one and you're going to get 100%. Anybody who thinks they're getting that from a coach, they're setting themselves up for failure, not the coach, because they have to understand the coach has multiple people. With a mentor, you're not paying, and you may have to work around their schedule some. Like, they may not be able to give you an answer right now. Right. But when they do give you that answer, it's going to be heartfelt. It's going to be from experience, and they're going to be able to give you more time because they're not being paid by a bunch of other people. They may only have 1 or 2 people that are contacting them.
Right.
So, and then you've got the best friend. Well, the best friend, they can sometimes give great advice. They can sometimes give really bad advice because they're telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear.
FYI world, I'm in the best friend zone. Just saying.
I don't know how you have so many best friends, but you navigate that very well.
It's called charisma, and she is 100% walking charisma.
You heard that? You heard it right here. But I agree with you. Like, as far as like understanding that difference between mentorship, coaching, and friendship, and so like that's why I'm so excited about us kind of rolling out this program of mentorship in the Women of FWA. I know that you volunteered to be both a mentor and a mentee, and I felt the same way. I'm on the list as well. I don't know, like, when you're making these decisions and laying them out, like, should we have like a questionnaire that says like kind of what your expectations are to get out of it and like match people up like that, or should it be at random?
So I think it can be a little bit of different ways. So if you already have connections, so there's some of us that through, you know, going to the events and through these, we've built natural relationships. Like I'll tell you right now, if Michaela just called me right now, my phone would be getting picked up. Why? Because we have built a relationship. So that's very easy. Or if I had a question, I would feel comfortable doing that with her. If there are people that are in here that don't know anybody because they're new to the industry, they haven't been to these events to build those relationships, I think a questionnaire would be really good in asking like what they're looking for and what their business model is. Because let's say they are residential only and that's all they want to do. Hooking them up with somebody as a mentor that is commercial specific would be a very bad match because the ideology of what they're doing does not coexist. Right. You know, now if they want to get into commercial, having somebody like that, but if they know my plan is to just target this, then you want a mentor that's more in line with that. Then again, if you've got husband and wife duos, maybe they're coming in there because they just, I love you, Michaela. If they just want advice on, look, how do you deal with this person when on a business level, you have to tell them no, but from a relationship standpoint, they're not used to hearing no come out of your mouth. So they're not sure how to take it seriously. Those are things that have nothing to do with business overall and how you manage personal versus that could be a different mentor within. So if we did have a questionnaire of those pain points that somebody has that they're looking for, it might be easier. And also with mentors that are willing, like, what is it do you think you could help with? And then look at the matching, because it could be, hey, Tiffany would be a great person to mentor this person on this subject, but Yadira would be great on this. And you kind of piecemeal it out. It helps with the relationships, as well as it kind of gives you more than one perspective. So you can throw the kitchen sink at the wall and see what sticks, but you're going to hear from maybe Bailey or from, because all of us can try different things, and what works in one area might not work somewhere else.
Right.
But you're kind of making a mentor circle versus just a direct A/B.
And if there is a questionnaire, it's got to be a guideline, not be rule.
Right.
Because yes, everything is, you know, it fluctuates. Just an idea to get to know more about where they're coming from.
Right. I like that now, because when I think in my mind of like how I came to who my mentors are through the years, right? Like I knew those people for a long period of time, but I was also writing down my goals. And as I was writing down my goals, I started to realize like how this person aligned like-mindedly with these goals, but they're already there. How did they get there? So like at that point, you know, and I'm kind of answering Michaela's question. She's like, well, how do you find a mentor? How do you find a coach? Right. So with mentorship, like it's somebody that you're not going to walk up to a stranger and say, hey, can you mentor me? Because you look rich. Right. Like sounds great, but like it's not realistic. You're going to have to build relationships. You're going to have to go to social events. You're going to have to go to trade shows. You're going to have to get on the phone. You're going to have to go into social media. That's the reality of the situation. That's what's connecting us and getting us kind of bringing us all together, right?
Correct. You have to engage. You cannot wait for it to show up at your door because nobody knows you need it.
Right. So like, you know, when I did that post in our private women only group, like I had a couple of people like reach out to me, and then I had a couple of people like, you know, comment in the comments, but like, I know that there are more than just 10 people who need mentorship, including myself, including you. You know what I mean? Like, So like, yeah, you have to go after it. You have to want it. And if you don't want it, it's not going to work either. You have to answer that phone as well. You
Correct.
actually have to pick up the phone first and ask the questions in reality, right? Like, yeah, I'll mentor you all day long, but like, if you're not calling me and talking to me, like, well, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Right. And a mentor is not somebody that you're calling just to vent your stress from the day of. That's when you call the best friend.
Right.
They're the ones that are going to hear just the day-to-day drama. That a mentor is going to be honest with you and say, that's nothing but minutia. Put that aside. That has nothing to do with your goals. And a coach would be saying the same thing. Right. You know, that is where they will align. The day-to-day drama of Sarah didn't come in and do her job. She sat on her phone. We all know it happens. That's not why you're calling us. That's what the best friend's for. Use them for the venting of the day-to-day. You're going to mentors or coaches because you're trying to either expand your personal growth, business growth, or both. Agreed. And that we want to keep what you're bringing to them to those things. They may end up becoming your best friend. You never know the relationships and what they'll be, but at least respect each sector, whether it's best friend, whether it's mentor, whether it's a coach, for what it is that they are providing you. And you have to keep your expectations in that same group. You can't say, okay, I'm coming to you as my coach, but then you want to yell at me as your best friend.
Right.
What title are we, what hat are we wearing during this conversation? Because if we're more than one, like even as a husband and wife duo, there's times that I have to sit down and talk about something business-wise that I know is not going to be his favorite subject. And I initially start with, this is a business conversation. This is not a personal conversation. There is no emotion in this. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, does he still feel emotion at me? Yes, of course we do. But I've put down the premise of this is a business conversation, not an emotional conversation. And so we have to look at it with business brain, not with our heart.
So recently, and I'm going to throw a wrench into the conversation here in a second, but recently, Renee with EOS Entrepreneur Operating System, she was at our show, kind of gave me this kind of advice because I'm like a go straight to the point kind of person, but not everybody knows like what mode I'm in. She's like, you need to start your conversations off with saying, I have my business hat on, or I have my GSD hat on right now, or, you know, like I'm in my emotion, so I have my emotional hat on right now, like just so people know like what your conversation you're about to have with them, especially somebody who does cover like a plethora of mentorship and coaching and friendship for you. You know what I mean? So like, you know what you're walking through.
I have to be very clear because I'm not a beat around the bush kind of girl. I am a don't ask me a question you don't want the answer for because I'm going to tell you the truth and there are no white gloves, right? I actually prefer somebody to do that with me because direct talk, I can respect. When people are dancing around things, I'm like, what are you trying to hide? That's the first thing my mind thinks of versus the direct. So that works for me. But if I were to be partnered with something that was someone who was very meek and didn't feel comfortable speaking out, I don't think they would get a lot from me because I was too abrasive for their personality.
Right.
So that is another thing. And it could be like, I'm going to use somebody that I know obviously has a personality that melds with mine. So like if I got matched up with Michaela, but she was a meek, quiet person, I would have to come back and say, okay, Susan, this is something I don't think will work because the personality I don't think will be accepted. So we also need to understand that in this process of trying to help people get mentees to mentors, the first match might not be the perfect match. And it's okay for either side to say, I'm not sure this is quite the fit for me. Don't stick with somebody that's not going to fit for you because all you're doing is wasting your time. And that's time you could be doing something more beneficial for you.
I love that. You hear that, everybody? So if we match you up and it's not working out, let us know immediately. But I said I was going to throw a kind of wrench in it, and I got Michaela down here laughing because she's a super meek young lady. Jim, what about having a role model? Is that different than the three?
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, when you say that, it means like it's somebody silent that don't know you look up to them. But that you look up to.
You could know them.
You kind of in your head want to be like them. You think their life is better than what it really could be because you see what's on the surface. And yeah, that is a wrench. I think the guys that are role models out there, because of what I just said, may not necessarily know that they have people looking up to them.
Right.
But just in today, one quick full circle. We're on a call with one of our marketing clients from up north. I go do a closing on a bid, and then I get a call a little bit earlier from a guy that is my mentor. He's my boss from over 10, 15 years ago when I worked at Starbucks. He's moved on to bigger, better things. He's no on doing this, but he calls me periodically out of random just to have a talk, and it's just a catch up. And I've told him that. I don't know if he knows how much in words that actually means, but from the client we close to the client talking about marketing, one thing happened today, and that's we as humans have a mental struggle every day. And sometimes just talking to someone else, it doesn't have to be about a fence, it doesn't have to be about your marriage, just hearing a story and knowing that, okay, these guys have that problem. Well, now I don't think they're so high and mighty as I put them on, but it gives you a comfort in knowing that we're not alone. I think that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel alone and don't realize, and I felt a lot less alone when I went to my first fence tech, went to the fence show. You go there and it kind of solidifies and brings to real life these relationships. It could be just a comment on social media here and there. Yay, proud of you for that, right? But it solidifies it. And to simplify it, I think it's just us all knowing that we're not alone. And you do have a phone number you can call for somebody that you trust. When you're talking about, a friend or mentor. Yep. If you have a trust that you know whatever you tell this person, it's not coming back at you in any which way. That helps us and it comforts us. But
see, I have somebody that was actually somebody I looked up to that became a mentor, and it's from a supplier from Forney Fence Supply. The person that he chased me for years to get refused because I was loyal to another company. That company sold out. I decided to give him a try. And you know what? Nobody can get from him because he has been in every aspect of fence. And I can call him whether it's commercial, whether it's residential, whether it's, government work. It doesn't matter. He'll call me out of the blue. Hey, I just want to check to see how you're doing. It's a little bit quiet. Or, hey, you put in this big order. Do you have big enough to do it? Do you need me to send you something? Like, he's just so amazing that he's a mentor that is keeping track and reaches out on his own.
He cares about our business, not just him selling material.
Agreed. But can we also maybe consider maybe your salesperson, your coach to an extent, right? Because they are making money off of you, right? But they have a desire to make sure you're successful because you are successful, then they are successful, right? Like, that's how I did sales, right? Like, I wanted to do it. I liked doing it, but like, I still got people calling me today saying, hey, what do you think I should do here? And I'm like, yo, I don't get paid for this. Like,
and I think if you ever attach the word coach to his name, he would probably give you a dirty look. But it's more so because with the word coach comes a level of expectation that a mentor cannot give you.
I agree.
100% of the time. And we had a business relationship that turned into a camaraderie that I just respect him so much, and he has helped so much that he has become a mentor over these years, and I will forever be grateful.
There's silently embedded to each other, even though you don't get to see each other, well, maybe ever.
And guess what? He is a person that very much believes in paying it forward. So for me to be able to pay what his kindness by paying it forward to someone else, I hope then that person can do it. And it just creates a positive environment snake that grows within our industry.
So you kind of answered like my next question, right? So we're talking about how to find mentors, how to, connect with mentors, and like the importance of having a mentor, but like, how do you become a mentor, right? Like at what point do you transition, right? Like
something you set out to do.
No, you don't become a mentor. You wake up and find out you're a mentor because that is actually somebody else's definition of you. Like I can say I'm willing to be a mentor, but until there's somebody that I'm mentoring that has gotten a positive experience from it, I'm just somebody willing to do it. I'm not that mentor. Chris never named himself a mentor. That is what I made him because that's what his status is to me. And I don't think anybody can just say, I'm a mentor. You're not, unless somebody has determined you are to them.
I love that. I love that too, Michaela. Very quickly, I see JC Gurry's in the comments. I wanted y'all to see the supported by JC Gurry sign in my bottom right, left corner. I don't know what it is on the screen, left, right.
And look at the amazing work they do. I love it.
Supported us from day one. And I feel like they deserve to have their logo like on our,
Absolutely. I cannot tell you how much we love our new signs. They are amazing. And Michaela, I'm sure you can see your sign behind us too.
We got all JC Gary.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I love it. I love it.
We got the love. And anybody else who wants to join our wall, means we've already got Craig up there. Shane, we need one of yours because I love your signs.
There we go. Okay. So now that we've kind of discussed and basically dipped a toe into the real conversation, right? Like this can be a part 2 at some point. Like I would like to have some more people on. I did call a couple of other people to join us today, Kim, but like instantly when Bailey told me we were doing an entire episode on mentorship, like your name came straight to my head. So I'm so excited you were able to make it tonight. But before we kind of start closing out, you need to set goals. You need to write them down, and you need to look at them every day. Because if you're not heading towards something, you're not going to be able to find a mentor to fulfill those goals. So I don't know if anybody read Fence magazine this month that just came out. It's discussed some of like goals business-wise and how to achieve them in 2025. But like, what do you guys do whenever you sit down and write down your goals for the year or for the month, like short-term and long-term, right? Like what questions do you ask yourself to make sure you're heading in the right direction?
So for us, it comes down to what quarter we're in. Obviously, are we in slow season because we have different phases for that? And it is more so of looking at, okay, in this upcoming quarter, are we trying to expand into a new service? Are we just trying to increase the business level coming in to determine whether are we doing additional marketing or are we doing some other form of advertising or pushing? Right now we're in the slow season. We love to push your income tax is coming around because although it makes no sense, somebody will hold off on a $15,000 contract because of an $800 return they're about to get. So, being able to at least be out there and get those done, it's easy peasy. Making callbacks to previous ones that didn't close, easy peasy. And then we look at the spring and what we're expanding into. More crews so that we can get things done faster. And how do we do that? We've got a new salesperson that just came on. Like the plans are already rolling and it's rolling out now for Q2 to be a success. So we're always planning what's done in this quarter is to make the next quarter successful so that when we're in the next quarter, it's already successful from this one and it's the new goal so that you're just keeping that wheel going. And a lot of it is rinse and repeat since we're cyclical.
Yeah. So quick last question before we really do close out. Do your as owners and husband and wife sometimes not align?
Say that again because you cut out.
My bad. As business owners, husband and wife couple working it all together, are there ever times where your goals do not align?
Almost always.
Yep.
Do y'all flip a coin?
No. It comes down to the accountant.
It comes down to tangible logic. Is it feasible? Where have we gone? Do we want to go there again? Do we want to do that again? Do you want to
Example one, I want a Bobcat. Cool, in 8 years, we've rented one 3 times. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to monetize it?
There you go. So basically what I heard is happy wife, happy life.
The more people I meet, the more that's true. We all battle it every day. But yes, that statement will hold true. And if you want to wrap up real quick, how do you find mentors? if you have friends with these people online, the key is the icebreaker is don't be afraid to dial. Don't be afraid to message. You said role models. I think there's probably 3 or 4 role models out there for me that they don't even know they're my role model, right? Shane Catton, Alex Harris, Ken Johnson, Josh Brand. You know, there's some of those guys that I've been following their stuff on social media for 2 years, and they wouldn't know that I'm looking up to them. We have a talk like, hey, how you doing? How's this going? But you don't know who's looking up to you.
Yep. David Gatto is amazingly inspirational. I'm just going to say that right now.
Almost become so many that you can't list them all. But yeah, don't be afraid to dial. Don't be afraid to tap them on message. I don't have their phone number. Cool. Hit them in Messenger. Like,
she's got a time frame.
Reach out.
No, we're good. I'll cut you guys off. No, I'm on the same page as you. I think that's wonderful. I think y'all are absolute amazing human beings. I'm so excited that y'all are able to come onto the show tonight. I appreciate everything y'all do for the Fence Workers Association, for the women of FWA, and the leadership that y'all are going to be pushed into moving forward because I'm bossy. And
I need somebody with authority.
You know, I need help and I need to learn how to ask for help. And you have offered it on many occasions. And I appreciate that very much, you guys. I love y'all. Thank you for tonight. I do think we're going to have a part 2 on this. We're going to have to break it down even more. And Michaela, thank you, Susan, Kim, and Jim. I love it. I love it.
So much. Oh my God.
You'll tell her though.
Next time I'll give him a wig and he can be Kimmy.
I love it. Kim and Kimmy. I dig it. Is there anything you guys would like to say before we go?
I love the camaraderie. This put a smile on my face today, you know, and that's it. So it's the little things, you know. Like I said, sometimes you need a little thing. Just reach out. Just reach out and dial. That's it.
And mentor or not, if somebody's got a question, you can reach out. I'm going to respond. It doesn't matter. It's just I will.
Thank you guys. That's all we have for tonight. We'll be back next week. I don't have a topic, but I'm sure we will by then.
Bye. Thank you so much.